The Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles return to the big screen after 7 years. However, this is not an ordinary comeback, because this time Seth Rogen in director's chair and Jeff Rowe, the director of equally eccentric Gravity Falls and Mitchell's vs. the Machines. Well, this sounds like a reason to reminisce about how a strange new legend about 4 heroes with shells on their backs was born back in a distant 1984. How the creators combined turtles, rats, savers, pizza, martial arts and names of Italian reminisce artists. And instead of ending up in oblivion, created a cultural phenomenon in the world of entertainment, winning the hearts of millions of fans. My name is Anton Chistякov and I am film director from Ukraine. Let's start with the beginning, the idea. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Not only does it sound like somebody randomly combined worlds that have been never used together, but also a combination of unexpected characteristics – turtles and ninjas. Turtles are slow, peaceful creatures, while ninjas are highly trained combat masters with impressive speed and skills. It was this contrast that made the idea so viral. One evening, two comic books fan, Kevin Eastman and Peter Laird, were doodling out of boredom. When Eastman drew a turtle holding nunchucks, he spontaneously blurted out, "This is a Ninja Turtle." Laird liked the drawing and added, "and also teenager and a mutant," sketching a response. At that moment, the friends realized that they could grow something insanely fun from the idea and decided to create a comic about the adventures of mutant Teenage Ninja Turtles, which were initially planned as a parody of their favorite comics, Daredevil and Ronin. To avoid sharing profits with anyone, they decided to do everything themselves and organize their own studio named Mirage Studios. Eventually, the comic had great success and soon everything changed. Initially, the comic about the turtles was black and white, reflecting the atmosphere of gang-ridden New York City. The 4 13-year-old turtles were depicted as young but incredibly skilled ninjas, fighting thugs, standing up for justice, and cracking jokes along the way.
And we'll cruise right in.
And then we bust some heads?
And then we bust some heads.
I love a happy ending.
As the comic developed and gained popularity, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles received a colored format, which further emphasized the uniqueness of the idea. At first, all 4 characters had the same red headbands. However, some nuances were added later to distinguish the heroes from each other and allow each teenager to choose their favorite turtle. The authors ingeniously and minimally differentiated them solely through the color of their headbands and the weapons. The headbands were elementary in their significance: blue for balance, red for aggression, purple for brains, and orange as a blend of energetic red and life-affirming yellow. Everyone has a unique weapon. Leonardo wields 2 short ninja swords, a weapon that requires not only remarkable skill, but also spiritual development from its owner. The use of such swords is connected to the ancient Japanese warrior tradition, Bushido, the way of the warrior. To match his weapon, Leo is a leader and the perfectionist who always needs everything to be just right. Raphael often plays the anti-hero, always eager for a fight. In line with this, his weapon of choice is Sai, designed for swift, close combat.
Watch where you're poking those things! When I get out of here, I'm gonna...
This is some nice steel. How about telling me who gave them to you?
Yo mama.
Donatello is genius and phlegmatic character, capable of creating any high-tech gadget even from scraps. He tries to avoid conflicts but picks up his bow staff if there's no other options. The bow staff is intended for long-distance attacks, allowing Don not only defend himself but also use it as a tool to solve various problems. And of course the joker of the group, Michelangelo. Nunchucks reflect his unexpected fighting style and his tireless energy. The nuance with nunchucks is that even highly skilled masters with years of experience can occasionally hit themselves in the forehead. Knowing Mikey's love for slacking off training for pizza and comics, the choice of nunchucks to reveal his character becomes quite obvious.
Whoa!
What? What is it?
Oh man, I slept on my hand and it got numb and hit my face and I thought somebody slapped me. Don't you hate that?
The names of the turtles were inherited from Italian Renaissance artists. This strange and seemingly unjustified move led to the fact that modern teenagers, upon hearing the names of the most prominent artists of the 15th century, immediately think of walking, talking turtles with Japanese weapon on their backs. If I had to mention one more character from this series, it would undoubtedly be... no, not a Splinter, April O'Neil or even Shredder. While they all are memorable for their vibrant personalities, among the supporting characters there was one more brilliant bumbling scientist who, after every failure or unsuccessful invention, suffered severe physical punishment: Baxter Stockman. Initially, he lost his left eye and then became a one-armed, one-legged invalid. His head remained untouched, but the brain was extracted from it and kept alive in a special container. It was just the beginning. In addition to leaving a lasting impression on the memories of the children, Baxter Stockman's story draws an analogy with the Greek myth of Chimera, a creature composed of three different and incompatible animals. In a metaphorical sense, it represents an unattainable dream. The downfall of Baxter Stockman's dream reflects the loss of humanity and compassion in the pursuit of technology and scientific experiments. But as our parents used to say, it's just a cartoon for kids. The Turtles started their journey on television screens in 1987. As the targeted audience was the young generation, the dark comic history underwent significant changes. Before the kids, there were four cheerful idiots who consumed enormous amount of pizza and shouted "Cowabunga" and "Turtle Power." And then once epic villain Shredder transformed into a sarcastic loser. Although the characters often become too frivolous, the show entertained its audience very well, gaining extraordinary popularity and being extended for 10 seasons. In 2003, the franchise got a reboot. The new animated series was aimed to a more mature audience, around teenagers aged 12, 16 years old and older fans. The series changed its graphic style, bringing it closer to a comic anime fusion. The interaction between the characters were based on constant teasing of each other and everyone around them, and turtles were not afraid to face the challenges of good and evil, while jokes decreased and action became much more impressive. The plot became more coherent and multi-layered, filled with intrigue, twists and dilemmas. However, when the turtles were sent to the future after the 5th season, the show's quality declined, and the audience interest quickly waned. By the way, the police officers who could never catch the green-skinned heroes were designed by Kevin Eastman and Peter Laird, the creators of the Turtles.
Take care of this money, will you guys?
You see that? Some little green men in an armored car just threw a bunch of money at us! Rookie.
In 2007, a feature-length animated film with the same name was released. It was the darkest and most dramatic in the entire series. Many were taken aback by the fact that even a pizza-eating mutant turtle's depression could be present.
I'd have to disagree with you on that one. Don't do this, Raph. I'm done taking orders.
Nevertheless, the majority of the viewers who grew up with the Turtles appreciated the perfect balance between realism and cartoonishness. It was a great farewell nod to the almost adult fans. In 2012, Nickelodeon acquired the rights to the franchise and announced the release of new animated series about the Mutant Turtles, which, according to their promises, should combine the life-affirming idiocy of the first series and well-developed story of characters of the second. It is worth noticing that this company had never produced anything with a coherent and evolving plot. Mostly they only made animated sitcoms like SpongeBob. So unsurprisingly Nickelodeon struggled with the challenge. Mixing, as promised, two different approaches, they ended up with a mishmash where there were interesting elements, but the plot was disjointed like a papier-mâché and character types were taken to the extreme. Let's get back and remember another full-length animated film, Turtles Forever, from 2009. It's a true multiverse where the turtles from the 1987 series end up in the dimension of the turtles from 2003. It was cool to see a combination of all these timelines and turtles from distinct areas poking fun at their styles and personalities. The ending still delivers a strong impact even now.
I think this first issue is coming along rather well, don't you, Kev?
Yeah, sure do, Pete. Hey, let's get back to this after lunch, huh?
Sounds good. Pizza?
Yeah, pizza. Oh, I sure hope this thing sells.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing.
We won't dwell on the Michael Bay films because I still have trouble sleeping due to the appearance of these friendly and cheerful turtles. But what we will remember in the crossover of the Turtles against Batman. It's as strange as the idea of the Turtles themselves, but on the other hand, if we remember the dark and gloomy Mirage comics, we can find many similarities between these heroes. The enemies of the Turtles in the crossover are made of the bones and blood, and the animation isn't afraid to showcase that. The crossover is honest with the audience, showing everything we expect. Batman against the Turtles? DC villains enhanced by mutagen? Batman against Shredder?
Any last words?
Cowabunga!
Okay, let's move on to the most delicious part. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem. Mutant Mayhem becomes the second computer-animated film about the Turtles after the 2007. However, in the new version, the creators return to the canon of the 87 Turtles, where they are just discovering the world beyond the Severs and meeting all their well-known old acquaintances for the first time. Seth Rogen and Jeff Rowe, almost the first one, truly captures the balance between serious and humorous turtles. Even if you fool yourself that you are not a fan of these charismatic amphibians, this animated film is aimed at convincing you otherwise. The first thing that catches your eye is distinctive visual style that reproduces 3D animation with hand-drawn touches. A similar stylistic approach became popular after 2019 film Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. But this animation has its unique feature. Mutant Mayhem's visual style resembles your childhood drawings of the Ninja Turtles. I draw them so I literally watching my doodles on the big screen. The visual presentation is in a very stylish and vibrant form, emphasizing the strange reality in which Ninja Turtles can exist, a reality you would want to create yourself. Next, what strikes the ears is the musical accompaniment. What happens when the Oscar-winning composers for Up, The Social Network and Soul allow yourself to unleash his imagination and indulge fully? It will result in a godless mix of all genres from synth, electro-pop rock industrial to pop hits of the 19th and 2000s. To understand even a part of this madness, take a look at the names of the soundtracks in the official playlist. Grand Theft Ice Cream Truck, She's Gonna Milk Us, Better Than Mark Buffalo, and of course Attack on Titan. Another undeniable advantage of the animation is its runtime of only 19 minutes, and it's more than enough for its dynamism, especially when compared to the current theatrical releases that seem to secretly compete in length. Guardians of the Galaxy Part 3, 153 minutes, John Wick 4, 169 minutes, Oppenheimer, 180 minutes. And when during the viewing of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem you notice its naivety and straightforwardness, let the story of their creation calm you down. These incredible heroes emerged from an absurd idea of two friends who accidentally draw weird green creatures with weapons and turned absurdity into a children's dream. Every silly joke or idiotic reference in the film is exactly what the Turtles were created for, to cause a ruckus and chaos in the sewers on the street of New York. If you want your inner child to leave the theater jumping, be sure to watch the post-credits scene. The sequel is already in development, so you will have something to look forward to. Goodbye.